building your dream.
Welcome to Behind the Build, and I'm excited today to be with my main man, Brett Lesage. Brett Lesage is responsible for all of our construction guys. So I like to start all this, and as y'all know, with Brett. Tell me what brought you to R&D Custom Builders.
Well, I've been in the industry with you for 20 years. Remember, you got me in this 20 years ago. But what brought me to R&D was getting out of the corporate world during COVID. They were asking me to do some things that I was uncomfortable doing and I wasn't going to do. So if you remember, I called you one day and said, hey, do you have anything? I was sitting there racking my brain going, I want to go somewhere that's good and great and not corporate.
Well, I was sitting at the same time thinking to myself, oh my God, I need help. So it's like, shit, it worked out.
It worked out.
But yeah, I tell you right now, it's 20 years ago, when we got started in the corporate world, it's like, yeah, we're good because, we work for Centex and San Antonio division, ran Centex. We called it Centex Family here in San Antonio and everything was great. And then 06 hit and corporate stepped in. Dallas started telling San Antonio what to do, and good people like me and you and I can name a whole bunch of them.
A lot of good people.
They jumped ship and they didn't like being run by corporate, and I was blessed enough to be able to go on my own and scraped some remodels together, and I was busting tile out myself and building fence and just whatever you needed I was doing. I started just the ground up, and you went to another company. And then COVID happened, and here we rejoined again, back together. So
back again,
a lot of fun. So we've known each other since grade school, back all the way since actually third grade.
Yes, sir.
Met each other in Lavernia, and he moved in. I was from Lavernia, and we got to know each other and been friends ever since. So it's kind of fun that we get to be back together again and do what we love. Because
do it right.
I can tell you, I love building homes. I know you love building homes, and you've been fortunate enough to move up into the to hierarchy. You got to work with some foundation failures with your other company. Correct. So you have a lot of experience when it comes to that. And I was, when we started growing R&D, I was real big about boots on the ground, in that home every day and making sure we having quality inspections on the home and our guys are checking on that and all that. And I started not being able to do that because we were getting busier and busier and busier. Right. So then that's when God brought Brett to us, thanks to COVID. It's the only good thing that came from COVID, I always say, was Brett got on the R&D team. It wasn't a lot good came from COVID, but Brett was definitely one of them for the R&D team. Yeah. So before we get into exactly what you do, Brett, tell me a little bit about yourself, your family, what you love doing, so like that.
Okay. Well, as I said before, I've been in this industry 20 years. You got me in this years ago when I was needing to go to work because my wife wanted to stay home with the kids. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And, she's been home ever since.
Yeah.
So anyway.
She's a good woman.
So I've been married 23 years. I've got 3 children. I've got a 20-year-old. I've got an 18-year-old, and I got a 15-year-old. 2 boys and a girl. The girl is 15. Started training her on how to drive this weekend.
Oh, boy.
So I'm a little stressed out. I'm coming down off my high. So anyway, that was very interesting. I am going to put her in a driving school because she's going to need some professional help.
So what road did y'all go to? Tell me that when you went to start practicing.
We went down Santa Clara Road.
Okay.
I've never been passed on Santa Clara Road. We were passed twice on Santa Clara Road. And then we went down Smeckle back in there and made that circle and came back down Lower Seguin. And
so if y'all were driving down Santa Clara Road in the end of February, you were going around Peyton.
Somebody was going around Peyton.
That's right. Awesome.
So
I know your sons, they love to weld, love being outdoors.
Yes, they love being outdoors. My oldest son, he is a welder. He's putting up metal buildings. He's in El Campo right now, adding on to the sail barn down there.
Wow.
They go all the way to Bastrop. They've been all the way past Victoria. He's staying real busy doing that, so I'm proud of him. It's hard work. I told him it's hard work.
That's what we used to do back in high school.
We used to do, yes. He's kind of like us. Remember when we got into the fences and got rid of the ladders? That was good stuff. He's getting there. He's like, man, I don't know about these metal buildings anymore. I said, yeah. There's money in fences. There's money in entryways.
We made a lot of money in fences.
And then my middle child, Jake, he's 18. He's fixing to graduate. He has senioritis real bad. I get notifications at least twice a week of Jake missed first period, Jake didn't go to school, blah, blah, blah. You know how it is.
I know how it is.
And then he's enrolled into TSTC for HVAC. So he's going to start there over the summer. I guess they start in
It starts same August.
Yeah, August.
Yeah, normal school. Yeah. Lane just graduated from there, my son. And, and yeah, it's the same school schedule.
Yes.
And it's a great school. They help you find somebody. Lane, graduated this last December, and he's already working for Comfort Air. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is really awesome.
He already got him a van. He was there for about 2 weeks, and they put him in a van already. So
all by himself now.
All by himself.
Wow.
He's running service calls in commercial buildings. So TSTC is a great school.
Oh, yeah. That is impressive.
As we go into this new era with building stuff and with not as many people coming across the borders working, we're going to need more
yes,
guys here that do the trade stuff.
Yes.
So it's more and more important every day.
Every day, skilled workers is where it's going to be, not college educated anymore.
Right.
That's
so
for sure.
Local grown, just like me. Been married for 23 years to Jill, beautiful woman. 3 kids, live in Marion. Kids, I know they were highly involved in ag in Marion ISD. So all the kids went to Marion ISD.
Yes.
So great local. What I really want to promote there is that's what's great about R&D Custom Builders is all of our guys and gals are from here, from local.
Yes.
We live local, we build local. We love keeping a great quality product going in a small town.
Correct.
So now let's roll into that good quality product. What does R&D Custom Builders do that I feel is a little different than other builders? Well, like Brett said, we've been doing this a long time. And as I've grown through my first building 10 years with Ryan's Class Construction, and then as I evolved into R&D Custom Builders and Dustin and I partnered up, what I did was I looked at the big 3 or 4 builders in the area, and what do they do great, and what can they do better? And a lot of them, they built as many as they could build, but they didn't grow their team. And that's what I want to make sure, when Dustin and I talked, was important to us, is grow our team to make sure that customer's still getting taken care of, because you're making the largest investment of your life. We want to make sure you're taken care of. So Brett's big role is to make sure your home is built obviously to code, and most everything we do is above code.
Correct.
We'll go to the next step or two above what the industry standard is to make sure efficiency is better or quality is better. So let's just talk, Brett, a little bit about moving ground up. So like first step with a homeowner, we meet the homeowner on the site. I know you got a site visit today with some homeowners. So we want to start. Where do we start with you? Well, obviously, we're going to start designing your home, but where will Brett start with you? Well, Brett starts with you at that site visit. So we currently, into 25 and definitely into 26, we're doing our own concrete foundation. So instead of subbing a sub, we are actually hiring the guys that do the work. We order the concrete. We order the gravel, we order the steel, we actually do your foundation. And what we've seen is, I think, really great so far. So I want you to hit on a little bit of how we start that process.
Yeah, so like Ryan said, we start with a site visit. So it'll be myself, or, we're training Justin Jupy up to be our new starch manager or foundation guy. So we actually meet the customer on site, place the home, speak to the customer, talk about elevations of their home, let them know if there's going to be stairs, anything they need or going to have due to topography of their lot. And at that time, a lot of homeowners, they really, really like that.
Sure.
And then, we always try to put the garage on the high side of the lot. Well, people don't think like that. And so we explain that in depth while we're out there, saying, hey, if your garage is on this side, you're going to have 3 feet of slab exposure. You're going to have a ramp to your driveway. So we need to flip the plan, and we can do that very easily because we have an in-house.
Because we drew the plan.
We drew the plan. We can flip it very easily, and they love that personalized attention to detail that they get when we do these site visits. And then that also, there's no unforeseen, oh my gosh, I didn't know I was going to have steps. I didn't know the house was going to be sticking 4 feet out of the ground over here. I didn't know. I didn't have any idea. So that is something that we do very well up front.
And this is all before contracts ever signed.
This is all before contracts ever signed. And then when we roll into the slab, they see a familiar face working on their foundation. And that is something that you can't put a price tag on. You can't put a number to that. So that makes people very easy, excited, and they know that we're going to be monitoring their slab to make sure it's done right, and we can control our slabs because we do our own. We have one guy that ties the steel. We have one guy that does the finishing, one guy that sets the forms, and he sets them the R&D way and the way that we want them set.
Once we set those expectations, we don't have to retrain a different crew of guys on every slab because it's the same guys.
It will be the same guys. They know what we want. They know what we look for. And so then we order base. We schedule plumbers. We order the steel. We order the concrete. We do everything that has to do with the slab.
Yeah. So foundations are very important, and we're in a part of the world where there's a lot of movement in the soil. There's a lot of PI. So if you're in your backyard and you see big cracks, that's because that soil is shrinking up. It's dry, like we're currently in a drought. And then when it rains, those cracks go away. Well, that soil is moving. So what we do is we pull soil, we send it to a lab, we test everything we need to test: PI, movement, rise. And then the engineer, been in business for 30 years, Mangold Engineering, will engineer that foundation to make sure that foundation will withstand the movement of that soil.
Correct.
And then they of course warranty it for 10 years. We warranty your foundation for 10 years, and then they inspect that foundation before we place the concrete in there to make sure that it meets their standards. So everybody's. Almost, I hear this every time. I'm worried about my foundation because my neighbors have failed. Right. Well, R&D Custom Builders year to date, and even if you want to count Brian's Class Construction, me for 20 years, I have never had a foundation fail in 20 years. I don't ever plan on it. Back when we used to sub our foundations out, we always hear, well, your foundation's over-engineered. Well, in R&D's world, there's no such thing as over-engineering a foundation. I would rather be over-engineered than under-engineered. So, yes, we may put a little more steel. We may put a little more concrete. Our beams may be a little deeper than our competition, but I can sleep well at night knowing your foundation is not going to fail, and you can sleep well at night knowing your foundation is not going to fail. This weekend I was at the rodeo, and I ran into a family where we're just starting a frame on a house, and when you met them on their lot, they had in their vision, their home placed in a curtain spot. And then when you got done with the site visit, y'all had decided to move it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a home out in New Berlin. And they're like, now that when Brett met us, it's just like it opened our eyes. It's like Brett brought up all these scenarios of, where does the wind blow? Where's the predominant wind? And of course, southeast breeze down in Texas, coming off the Gulf. And then where's the sunset and all that, and elevation. They got out of the water a little bit, so we didn't have as much foundation exposure out of their house. So anyway, he's like, oh my gosh, now that the home is where it is, I'm so happy, and I'm glad Brett met us out there. So anyway, I want to give you a kudos on that. Yeah, the family was extremely happy that you helped them with that foundation. So now we're done with the foundation. Let's move into the framing part of the home. So talk a little bit about our framing strategy and what we do different than other guys.
Okay, all of our framing is 16-inch on centers. A lot of other builders don't do that. They put them on 24-inch centers. Any non-load bearing wall, interior walls, they'll be 24-inch centers. All of ours are 16-inch centers. Our rafters are on 16-inch centers, and we wrap the house with OSB and Tyvek, which is the tried and true vapor barrier, water barrier for the exterior of the homes. Been around for I don't know how many years. And that right there sets us apart from a lot of other builders, because that's where you can save a lot of money, is putting stuff on 24-inch centers, but we choose not to do that. There's a perception and value there, and there is a real value there of making your home more structurally sound, if you will, to help with expansive soils. The more wood you have in the home, the better. It will withstand the movement of the soils if you don't maintain your foundation correctly all the time. And then, of course, we put radiant barrier decking on all the homes. That helps in the energy efficiency of the home. And then we go into, mechanicals and all that. That's kind of all the same pretty much everywhere. But what we do after that is, when our installation guys come in, we do a poly one. We seal up all of the penetrations through your top plates, all of your exterior outlets, to prevent any type of air transfer from the attic or the outside of the house. And then we also do, after they insulate and they drywall, we come back and do a poly 2, which is where we caulk everything that's coming through the drywall at the attics and the exterior walls, to again prevent any air transfer from those hot areas to the cool areas.
Right. So the constructions team responsibility, obviously, with you, the customer, is one, make sure your foundation is placed where it's supposed to. They make sure that plugs are where they need to be on the foundation. And then the next time you'll meet them is at the frame, what Brett just talked about with mechanicals, because another thing we want to make sure in your custom home, we want to make sure we customize your plugs and switches and stuff and your light placement. So when you look at a plan, a 2D plan, everybody's like, okay, I see a plug here, but that doesn't tell me anything. So what we do is Brett's team will meet you on site and make sure that when your frame is up and you can actually walk in your home and feel it, breathe it, like, okay, now I see my bed's going to go here, my TV's going to go here. Yeah, I want that plug moved on this wall because I want my TV on this wall instead of that wall.
Correct.
We do that walk with you as well. So that would be you, your sales member, and definitely a construction guy to make sure there's if you have any structural questions about your home while it's being framed. We always say, let's wait till that walk, because more than likely we give our framer a chance to fix, as they're going, they're framing your home. There may be some stuff. They do a walk of the home. Brett's team does a walk of your home, and then we walk your home with you before we do that installation, just to make sure that if there's anything you have a question about in the framing of your home, that we can answer those technical questions with our team, which has a lot of experience. So, yep, now we've insulated your home. We go on to sheetrock. And then it kind of gets easy at that point, because now we're doing the pretty stuff, and that's where your interior designer would come in and definitely help you pick your color cabinets and all that. And we'll have a podcast with them as well. Our three amazing designers. We got a great crew of girls right now. So,
we do.
Yeah, we subbed it out a little bit for a while there, and now we brought it all in house. 100% is in house. Even when it goes back to Barry, our architect, and the interior designers, and I just found that when they're part of the R&D team family,
right,
it's better, because we set those expectations, and I know what our customer can expect, and I can sit here and I can tell you honestly what's going to happen, because they're our family members. So definitely huge there. But Brett, I know we're not done yet, because we haven't got to the good part of the home, and that's the closing of it. So. Talk a little bit about Buildertrend and what we do there to make sure that home stays on schedule.
Okay, we have a program with Buildertrend, and we have the schedules of each home laid out in Buildertrend so that there's never a step that is forgotten. It has all of the selections that the homeowner puts in there. So the project managers, when they're on site, at the touch of a button, they can see exactly what color your walls are supposed to be, your windows, your doors, all of that. It has pictures in there. It cuts down on mistakes, cuts down on rework, because we're real big on working on rework here, figuring out why rework happens and trying to prevent it. And then it also has the schedule for them. And the project managers keep the schedules updated, not normally daily, because some of our houses are really far away, and so they don't make it to every house every day. But when they do, they update the schedule. And then we have our ops meeting every Tuesday, and we figure out which house on schedule, which one's not on schedule. How are we going to condense that schedule to get that house back on track? Because by then, since we have such a streamlined process, we've communicated a closing date to the homeowner, and that's our main goal, is to hit that closing date. Also, Buildertrend communicates to the designers when they need to have selections done or completed to keep the home on track. And that is all based off the information the project manager puts in there. So it is a fabulous tool that we have at our hands, and to where everybody has a window into what's going on with the home. And if the guys, which they do, put in the information correctly, the train just keeps running down the track smooth.
Yeah, it's a central location for data.
It is. That
all aspects, designer, sales, construction, homeowner, puts all their information. It's one place to go. I always use a scenario, if you take 10 people and you whisper in their ear, by the time you get to the 10th person, who knows what's going to happen.
Wrong.
So you enter the color of your home into Buildertrend, and that way the painter goes in there and sees what you enter as the homeowner.
Correct.
Because if you tell the designer, the designer tells sales tell construction tells the painter, and the painter tells Sherwin-Williams, well, before we know it, we're painting pink.
Yeah, the house is pink. So nobody was like, what?
Yeah, so we started with Buildertrend well before COVID, and it was an absolute blessing through COVID, because we can adjust order times and everything. Yes. So Buildertrend's amazing, and that's what helps Brett's team keep that home on schedule. So Brett's heavily involved in the closing of the home. So let's talk about that. What can a customer expect when the home's complete? What's next for the homeowner?
When the home's complete, we let them know when the home is going to be complete, trying to keep the closing date on track. And normally, the only thing that will really slow closings down is change orders, because it is a custom home, as you know. we will do change orders. If a homeowner's not happy with something and they want to move a wall, if they want to do that throughout the process at any time, we will do that for them. But that does add time to the schedule. But that's about the only thing that moves our closing date. So what we do is about 2.5 weeks before the closing date, I'll typically come in and do a quality inspection on the home. I will touch everything, open every drawer. I will open every window. I will run every faucet. I will check it all and give the list to the project manager. The project manager has about 4 or 5 days to get those items done. At that point, we will tell the homeowner we're ready to walk the home with you. And we'll basically go through it and do it again. And we'll put out blue tapes. Rarely do we put out a lot of blue tapes at that time. The homeowners are normally blown away by the process and how well the home has come together and how complete it is. And once we finish their little list, then we sign it off with them and give them the keys. And at that time, I go over all of our warranties, talk about how to maintain your foundation, maintain your septic, air conditioning units, and we give them a nice binder to where they have all of their selections in it. It has all of the different ways to get in contact with us, our emails, our phone numbers. We give them emergency contact information. And what else is in there? And a checklist that we go over with them to make sure that we do not skip a step, letting them know what their responsibilities are with the home.
Yeah, and definitely also in there is a referral, because R&D is real big on referrals. And obviously, if we do a great job on your home, then we really appreciate that referral. Yes. And last year, like I've commented, we were a little over 40% of the homes we built were referrals.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I know we do a great job. I stand behind we do a great job, and our customers know. And I was talking to people again this weekend. They're like, "Oh yeah, whenever I'm ready, y'all are the guy. Y'all are going to do it, because we small town. We got a reputation, and if you mess something up, it spreads pretty fast. Yeah,
we fix it. We communicate. We fix it.
That's another good point about fixing, is because a lot of builders, like, well, do y'all have a warranty? Do y'all third party y'all's warranty? No, we don't do that. And we've explored it a couple of times, but the problem with that is it's just like everybody's got an extended warranty on something, their car or something, right? Mm-hmm. And you go in and you got a problem with transmission, they tell you, well, that part's not covered.
That part's not covered.
So when we sell your warranty out to a third party company, it's their job to pretty much tell you no, because if they tell you yes, they got to fix it, right? So that's why we don't do that. I want to keep it in-house. And that ops meeting that Brett talks about, we review warranties. We go over them every week, every Tuesday. And we look at them and we say, okay, where are we at? And our goal is to get that list, of course, shorter and shorter every day. But we keep that warranty in-house, because if it's something that's that was negligent on maybe a customer made oversight by one of our trade partners, and let's say you're a little out of that warranty, if it's something that we definitely saw, then we're going to help you. We're going to figure out a way to get that resolved for you. And it may be us partnering up and doing it, but I don't want to lose touch, because I definitely want to know where the warranties are coming from, why they're happening, and do we see them more in one area than the other? And if they do, then we can go adjust our scope of works for our subs, or maybe look for a new guy, because the quality of work's not there. So it's very important to us to keep that warranty in house, because I'm going to stand behind that product. When we first sit down with you and start drawing your home, I'm going to tell you that this is the level of service you're going to get, and I don't want to just pass that on once we give you the keys. Right. We're going to keep that warranty going. So we do a 1, 2, 10 warranty. So Texas said you don't have to warranty your foundations except for 7 years anymore. They changed that rule or that law. R&D opted to keep the 10-year warranty for your home, because again, I'm going to stand behind your foundation. I'm not going to everything we do, we want to go to the next level. I want to be better than what the industry standard says. Industry standard says put 14 SEER AC units in. Nope. We put 15 SEER AC units in. So anyway, that's very important to us in the R&D world, to make sure your home is the efficiency and the quality is there. And Brett's here and his team is here to ensure that quality of your home is done. We want to know what code is, and we want to exceed code. We've had the inspector tell us that we're building his home here this next year. So that's that says a lot when the inspection, when the inspection company says you guys go above and beyond, and we never, if they find something, obviously we're human, we may miss it. And Brett, you even hit a little bit on it, possibly bringing in some our own third party inspection company this
code
year.
Inspection
Code
companies.
inspection
Right,
company.
right.
But just because, again, we're all human, and we may miss something, and I want to separate that. That's the level that you and I want to go to make sure we take care of our customer, and that you can ensure that we've done everything we can. Again, there's going to be stuff. I'm not going to say your home's going to be 100%, but I can tell you it will be 100% before we're done.
Right.
We're done with your home. So
correct.
Anyway.
Yeah, I always tell people there are things that are going to happen because these homes are built by humans.
Sure.
There's a lot of humans doing the selections. Things are going to happen. And judge us on how we react and how we fix the problem and how we come together and communicate and get it done. And I always tell them when I'm signing them off, you're going to find that when you have a warranty problem, we're going to run to you, not away from you. And we don't change phone numbers. We don't close the office down. We're here. There are ways to get a hold of us, and we give them all the information. And they tell me.
That's why we get 40% referral rate.
That's why we get 40% referral rate. Exactly.
That's right. So I know our customer testimonial, that's you can hear it from them too. So we started doing some of those, and I just love hearing that positive feedback from our customers. So those are exciting as well because we stand behind what we do, and we say we do
it right.
Yep.
You would do it right.
So out of all the things, I know you love working here because it's close to home and it's small company and that. But what's your favorite thing about this company besides that?
My favorite thing about the company is, like I've said before, your vision, Dustin's vision into the future. You guys are not looking tomorrow. You're not looking next week, next month. You're looking years down the road as how you can position R&D and the R&D family in a position of power or whatever, I don't know, lack of a better word. I don't know what to say there, but, and that is just something that I admire you, and I admire Dustin, and I admire this whole company. And this is a very, very family oriented company. And with that type of culture and atmosphere, it rolls over into the project managers and how they do their jobs and how well we work with homeowners and building custom homes, and we do it right.
Well, I like to say we just strategically put ourselves in a position for success. I don't want to set us up for failure. So we have currently 14, just in my phenomenal family, I call them family, but R&D partners that are on our team. And I want to ensure that we have work 2, 3, 4, 10 years from now. So during the slowdown, which obviously, everybody knows about the slowdown, we just kind of come through 22, 23, 24, and of course 25 wasn't pretty either. But what we did was we put ourselves in a position to have lots and land available when the pickup is there. So we're currently sitting on 77 lots in and around La Vernia, Marion, San Antonio area, all the way from Bulverde to Floresville, La Vernia, New Berlin, St. Hedwig. We just positioned ourselves to where we have the land ready to build homes on. And that's what's important to Dustin and I, is to make sure that our customers taken care of, and then of course in return, the team is taken care of as well. So, Brett, I'm glad you said that. But yes, that is definitely, we definitely take very, very much pride in setting ourselves up for success. And Dustin and I we've always put back into the company, put back into the community, and it's just come back twofold for us. So I'm very blessed for that. So before we wrap it up, I like to tell everybody, if you can ask me anything, what would you ask me?
Well,
it's your turn, I guess, to
get
on
turn.
me. This could get, maybe we got that beeping button, beep. And
remember that time you were running through the street? No, I'm just kidding. So do you ever plan, or you and Dustin ever plan to open up another division of R&D, like a different style of home or in a different area or anything like that?
Back in when it started slowing down in 23, we saw our customer base is more or less that 500 to 550 to about 950 customer. We build some $2 to $4 million homes. Right. We build some that are 350 to 400. I'm not going to say yes or no to any home. However, if you look at our meat and potatoes, if you will, of our company, it's that 5 to 750. Well, when inflation went crazy and then interest rates went up, that customer was fewer and further between. So what Dustin and I sat down, let's look at a more entry-level home that we can build in that 350 range, and came up with a name for it. We're going to do LK Custom, or LK Homes, not custom, because we're going to do more of a track style. Right. And, I thought to myself, it's just not who we are. let's stick to what we do. Let's stick to what we know, and let's figure out a way to vertically integrate in our company. So instead of building a more entry-level home, let's build you a custom home cheaper. Yeah. How can we build that home more cost-effective for you? Well, that's where Brett and I sat down and we're like, okay, let's see how we can do our concrete cheaper. How can we, and when I say cheaper, I don't mean lesser of a product. I mean cutting out middle guys. How can we do the same quality of work at a lower cost? Right. And we did that through 3 different things, parts of your home. And we're currently working, and I have it set up. And if you follow us on social media, you're going to see it, Design Center. Right. So I've partnered up with commercial guys. Instead of going to a flooring store and them marking it up from a wholesaler, let's just get the product straight from a wholesaler. Let's bring it into our model home. Right. And if a customer's happy with that, well, I can save them $2 a foot on their flooring. Well, those are the things that I chose to do different and a little better. Instead of, again, going to the entry-level home, let's build you a beautiful custom home, but let me as a business owner figure out how to cut cost,
give you
not
more
quality.
Options. Yeah.
I don't want to cut quality, and that's what we were going to have to do. We're going to have to cut quality to build that. Well, let's build this same amazing home, but let's cut 20, 30, 40 grand out of it for that customer. Yes, and that's how we've stayed so competitive. So as far as growth, I definitely see us growing. We're going to have a top-notch design center that's going to have some amazing products in it that are going to be priced right. We're working with all of our vendors to make sure those prices are right. So if you use our design center in our model home to select your products, then you're going to find that you're going to save a bunch of money. If you choose to go to our showroom floors that are set up at our plumbing store, lighting store, flooring store outside of our design center, obviously I don't want to say no to that. We're a custom builder. We're going to do that. Right. So I want to offer both to our customers. But if you're looking at saving money, let's stay in-house, and I can definitely save you a bunch of money. Yeah. So those are the things that we chose to do. Now, as far as growing, I would love to grow east. I feel that that's kind of the next area. If you look back at like your grandma, where she lived over there on Rigsby and near W. White. And back then that was that was the place. And then all of a sudden everybody moved out and they moved to Lavernia, East Central Lavernia area. So, like my parents moved to the Lavernia area, and then your parents moved out to the Lavernia area. So we knew each other, but that was home. Yeah. Well, now I see everybody okay, well, they moved to Lavernia, but now where do you move to next? So if you were country back in the outside of San Antonio, then you were country in Lavernia, and you still want to be in country. Well, now as Lavernia is growing, and never going to stop progress, but as progress grows and Lavernia grows, then I think I personally see that another 5-10 years from now, that that Kingsbury, Luling, Gonzales area is going to be the next country. Your commute will still be 30 minutes because now San Antonio will be in Lavernia.
Coming out this way, yeah, right.
Right. So I personally see R&D having a division out east. North is it's pretty congested. A lot of traffic up there and stuff. But people that live out in Century Oaks, our neighborhood, they can hop right on I-10. I-10's now 3 lanes both ways. Right. I mean, the commute is easy. Yes. It's easy, and quick, and as you stay on that, of course, I-10's
getting bigger.
Seguin, and now they're already talking about expanding that double 3-lane road, past Seguin. So, as we kind of stay in front of that and build out that way and build customers' dreams out in the country, which just a little farther east, I see that being a big hot spot in the future. Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of my vision's taken me and just kind of vision. God helps me, always guide me along the way, and I think east is the way to go. So anyway, I think that's what you'll see in the next 5 years. So maybe 5 years from now, when we do this again, and we can say, hey, where are you at on that east deal?
We're blowing and going. We need a satellite office.
Yeah,
that's
there,
right.
That's right. Yeah. So, but our home office right now is here downtown Lavernia, right off Chihuahua Street, right next to Wells Fargo. It's a great home base. Actually, this is my great grandpa's property. I moved his home off, and then we built this office building way back in 2009.
Yeah, this has been there a long time.
Yep, since 2009 I built it, and here I am of R&D out of here and doing a podcast out
here. Taking
so
up 2 of them.
It's pretty cool.
Growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. So anyway, we love Lavernia, and I don't want to shy away from it, but I do see a growth down to east. So
yeah, I love it.
Well, anything else before we shut her down?
No, I'm good.
You're good.
You got anything else?
No, I think we summed it up for our ops portion. Got to know a little bit about Brett, and like I said, and whenever we get to sit down with you and your family, I want to get to know about you as well. So, here at R&D Custom Builders, we're a family, we're a team, and we want to get to know your family, and we want to build for your family. And just when we sit down, tell us what you want, and that's what we build. Because R&D, it's true custom.
That's right.
Every day, all day long.
All day.
So anyway, thanks for riding along with R&D Custom Builders and following us and doing all you do. But till next time, Behind the Build with Brett Lesage and Ryan, thank you all for listening and letting me pull your ear.
Thank you for having me.